Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Automation Testing Insider. So this is part 17 of API testing series, and today we are going to talk about what is data variable, or we can say what is parameterization in Postman. So earlier we have seen how to set environment variable or global variable we have seen in Postman. Now today we'll focus on how we can set the data variable. Okay, we'll understand what exactly this data variable is. And this concept is also called parameterization. So what do you mean by parameterization? Like we can achieve this like parameterization. We have this parameterization concept in every automation tools which we have used earlier, right? So parameterization is nothing but when we run our script using different set of test data. With different set of test data, when we execute our script is called parameterization. Correct. So we have the same concept in Postman as well. So parameterization is nothing but when we supply the data using some external file with different set of test data, when we supply to our test script, that is nothing but the parameterization. So how to achieve the parameterization in Postman, or how to set data variable? So there are two types of files using which we can supply the data in Postman. One is like CSV format, and another one is JSON format. These are the two types of file format which we can use in parameterization in Postman. So how it happens basically? So this concept is like we can achieve this concept in when we run the collection. Okay, so what is collection? Collection in Postman. So collection consists of different HTTP requests like get, post, put, patch, delete. We have separate different set of HTTP request. So collection is nothing but it is consist of different set of HTTP request. Correct. So what happens is either will supply the data variable. We set the data variable in URL and in the response request as well. In the response request. Okay, so we set the variable here like the way we have done in global variable or environment variable. So we can supply the data in the URL or in the response in the request body. Okay, so we'll read the data from the external file at runtime when we run this collection, and this concept is only available when we run the collection. Correct. So when we run the collection and we have different requests inside this collection, so that will read the data from the external file during the runtime. So this is the complete concept of parameterization. Now the question arises here is how practically we can achieve this, right? So let me take you to my Postman, and then we'll create a collection, and then we'll achieve this parameterization concept there. So here the Postman, and I'll create a new collection over here. So simply I'll give the name as well, data variable concept, or you can give like parameterization data variable concept, and here we'll create different requests. Now what I'll do here, I'll take the help of any API, right, to create the different requests with different endpoints. So what I'll do, I'll create we have already created our own API, right? Earlier you have seen the employees data I have created. So if you don't know like how to create your own API, so I have already explained. If you go to the API testing tutorial playlist, and that is part 8, create your own API for testing. So this is very easy way I have explained like how to create your own API and how to play with different Postman concept using that API. Okay, so we'll take the help of that API only. So for that, what we need to do, we have to run the JSON server. So this is the JSON file we have. So just come to the path where we have our JSON file, and simply type cmd, open your command prompt, and type JSON server command space, what is the file name, employees.json. Simply put enter, press enter, and then here you will see loading employee.json, and it's done. You can see the resources. So this is the URL we have. copy this URL, and here we have home address. This is the home address. Okay, http://localhost dot 3000. So the server resides in my system only, right? So that's why localhost colon 300 port. Now what we'll do, simply we'll create different request over here. So just click on add request and put the URL over here. This is the URL, and body, no need of to define the body when we send the get request only. And here I'll give the meaningful name like get employee data. Press enter. So this request has been created, and simply let's see whether it is working or not. So it is up and running, our server. So simply send it. So you can see these are the different records we have when we send the get request, right, for all the employees. So let me show you through files as well. So this is the JSON file, open with Notepad. So these are the different records we have. Now what we'll do, just close this and come back here. Let's see with one request how to achieve this data variable concept. Okay, so what we'll do, let's say in this request, let's say suppose we want a particular record like employee 1. So you can send it the request like this and you will get the response. Why it is taking time, just cancel it. Let's save it and send it again. Let me run the JSON server again. Server employees.json running. Let me send this. Now here you go. You can see the one record got we got one record here. If you send like this employees/1, so it will send the first record. If you want a second ID, then you will send simply like this, David ID 2. Okay, now what we'll do, let's achieve the data variable concept over here with simple one get request. And here what we'll do, we'll set the variable over here like we used to set environment or global variable. So simply just use curly braces, double curly braces, and put ID and save this. Now we have to set the data, we have to create the data, right, externally. So what we'll do, just come to this path, API testing data files, and here we already have a file, but let me create another file here, new Excel, and we'll save it later on with CSV format. Employee data, open this Excel file, and simply what are the data we have for this particular employees data which we have in the server. So we have ID, name, status. So similarly I'll use 3 columns here, ID and name, and here we go status, correct. So 3 columns I have created here. ID, let's say 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 records we have, 4 records, and let's say test. You can give any meaningful name as well. For now I'm giving like test name 1, test name 2, drag it, so you'll get test name 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can give some meaningful name as well, but I have I have given, just for this example, I have given like a test name 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And let's say I'll give like true, false, true, and let's say last one is true. So we have given some status as well. We have ID, name, and status, corresponding status. Now we have to save this as in the CSV format, right? CSV format, data files, and here we have to choose the file CSV comma delimited. Okay, employee data, click on save. Now it is saved. Close this, come back to this particular path, and what we'll do, we'll simply delete the Excel file. We'll use the employee data, this one. So if you open it, the data are, all the data are present over here. Now what we'll do, come back to Postman. Now here we have set our URL. This is the URL /ID. So it will pick the data from external file. So how it will run, right? So at runtime it will pick the ID from the external file, and you can see it is not like unresolved variable because we have not set any environment variable or global variable. So this will be set in runtime. Okay, so how it will be done? So simply what we can do, we have this data variable concept collection, and inside that we have only one record, one request. Okay, so to achieve this parameterization, we have to run this collection. So here we have run collection, click on that, and so here we have run order. So whatever request were we have created, all will come over here. So for now we have created only one record, get employee data, so it will show only one record here. And run configuration, here choose how to run your collection, run manually or schedule or automated runs via Cleave. But we are going to run it manually, so we have selected run manually. By default it will be selected like that. Run configuration, iterations, we can set the iterations over here, but let's select the file and then automatically it will change. Okay, based on the number of records. So we'll select the file, and we have already this path selected, and simply select this employee data, open. Now you can see it has been uploaded, employee data.csv, and you can preview it as well. So preview it, you can see iteration 1 2 3 4, and here we have ID 1 2 3 4, and you can see name and status. So right now we are going to use only ID because we have supplied the ID environment variable in the URL ID we have provided, right? So it will pick only ID 1 2 3 4 like that. Name and status we have not used till now. Okay, so simply what I'll do, there are 4 iterations, so it is coming over here. So let's run for 2 times this time. And what I'll do, I'll create a test as well. Okay, so let's create a test as well. So guys, last time you can run you can write manual script over here, like manually you can write the JavaScript over here, or what you can do, we have this postbot as well, right? Using that you can write the script, which I have explained in the last video. So what I'll do, there is another way we can achieve this. So we have code snippet as well. Okay, so how to do that? 1 second. Yeah, so here we have code snippet as well, snippets. So using that also you can do that. So how to do that? Get an environment variable. So if you select this one, automatically it will give you that JavaScript for you, like pm.environment.get variable key. So this is how we can get the environment variable. Similarly, we have like get a global variable. So how to get global variable like this, pm.globals.get. So this is very good as well, guys, code snippet. So and for status code also, status code 200. So simply it will give the code for us. Okay, simply save this. So when we send this get request, we'll get the 200, right? So this is the script for to verify the data, to verify the status code is 200. So we can manipulate this, verify the status code is 200. Save it. Now let's run this collection. Run collection, and this is what we have set already. And let me just run it. Run data variable concept collection. Now you can see it is successfully completed. You can see verify the status code 200. So we run 2 times, 2 iterations and 2 tests. Each iteration 1 test case, right? We have already 1 case for this request. So all test 2, and here you can see 1 and 2 iteration, and this is the summary, run summary. You can see the result over here. What is the test, like verify the status code is 200. Now you can see the result in this format as well, like iteration 1 and iteration 2. So this is how you can achieve the parameterization concept using a data variable in Postman, and this is how you can pass the data in the URL. Now let's see how we can pass the data in the body, request body, right? So for that, what we can do, we are going to create some more request, and then we'll achieve that concept as well. So let's create a different request over here. So simply I'll create a new request, add request. This time I'll use post request. This is the URL, and for post this is the URL. This is enough. Click on save, and simply body, select the body, and we have to, what kind of data we have to, this API will accept JSON data, right? So in the employee data, what we have, ID will be generated automatically. So we have to create the data in the server. We have to send name and status for the post request. So post, what it does, post request will create the record. So simply we'll select two curly braces, like inside curly braces we'll simply write key value pair name, and based on the name we'll keep the data over here, and second one is status. Now we have seen how to pass environment variable or global variable inside the request body. So in the similar way, here also we have to pass the environment variable and global variable like this, inside a double quotation, double curly braces, and put your data over here. You have to put comma here. So this is the format using which you can pass the data variable. Here we have to provide the variable name. Now what we'll do, what the data we have, name, correct, the name which we have in the data file, which we have created. So name is the column name, and second one is status, name and status, correct. So here we have name and status. Simply save it. Now what we'll do, this is the post request, right? So let me just rename this like create employee data. Now I'll put this post request on top. So we have first post request, correct, and later on we are in the request body, we have name and status, which we are expecting to receive it from the data file. And the second one is get request, for which we are just passing the variable. We are setting the variable, getting the variable from the data variable. Now what we'll do, instead of getting the variable here, let's set the environment variable and get the data from the first request, like post request. So when we get the name and status, so this will create the record in the server, new employee record, and we'll get the response as well, right? So what we'll do in the test, which will be executed after the request, here we'll set the environment variable, we'll store those IDs. So how to set that? So first of all, what we have to do, we need to get the pm.response.json, correct. So first we'll get the response which we have, we are going to get, we'll store that in a variable response data. Okay, so response data store in a variable pm.response.json. Now what we'll do, after getting the response data, we want the particular ID, right, which we have which we will get in the response body. So how to set the environment variable? pm dot environment dot set, inside that key and value pair. So let's say we are going to set env underscore id as environment variable, and what is the value which we are getting? So pm.response.json will get the response body, this complete response data, from where from there we want id, or you can say simply to save a field from response body, JSON response body, right? So we are going to save response data into environment variable. So this code will do like this, like it will save the environment variable. Now what we are going to do, this environment variable we are going to use in other subsequent requests. So in this request we are going to use environment variable, and let's do one thing, let's write a test here as well, like a simple test to verify what is the status code we are getting. So simply pull the code snippet from here, and when we run the post request we'll expect 201 record, right? 201 code. So simply save it now. So we have written one test over here, simple test. Later on we can add some more test cases as well, and the second one is this should be inside this one. So to save a field from response body, we are saving the response like id in the environment variable, and later on we are passing that environment variable into get request, using which we'll get the particular record. Now let's add some more request as well. So I'll add one more request, like put request. URL will be like this, and here also I'll use that environment variable env underscore id, save it, and in body here also we need to define the body, because what it does, this put request, it will modify the data. So let's say we want to modify only one column. Let's say that is status 1, status, in double quotation. Let's say we want to set it to false, right? Comma. Second, what is happening? Yeah, sorry, comma will not because there is no further record, so this is fine, and save it. So using put request we are setting the status to false. This is update employee data, is update employee data. Now let's create one more request, using which we'll delete the request. So simply add one more request, and this will be delete employee data, and here the URL will be the same, and here we'll pass the same environment variable like this. Save this, and no body is needed here. And let's add a test also in put request. We can use the same test, like what is the status code we are receiving. Status code will be 200 only. Status code is 200 for put request. This just for like for each request we have some test, so that's why I have added this test. You can add multiple test cases as well. You can use this postbot as well. But for now I have added the same kind of request test, like status code is a particular status code which we are expecting. For post request we have like 201, for employee data to get the employee data 200, for update employee 200, and delete employee also 200. So done, all done. So you can, let's recheck again everything. So in post we are going to send the post request here, and we have one test like expecting 201 once record has been created in the server. Second thing is what we have done here in the test, we are saving the environment variable from the JSON body, and later on we'll pass that environment variable to other subsequent requests like get employee data, update employee data, and delete employee data. Now let's see whether it is working fine or not. So simply select from this collection, run collection, and here you will see we have to select the file employee data one, preview it. So here you can see 4 records and iterations also 4. Let's run 2 times first. So 8 tests will be there. Each request we have 1 test case, so 8 tests will be there. Now simply run data variable concept this collection. Let's see whether it is working or not. Now you can see it is working perfectly fine, right? So status code is 201, verify the status code is 200, status code is 200, and status code is 200 here, and similarly for iteration 2 as well. So here you can see this is iteration 1 and this is iteration 2, and here you can see the summary as well. All test 8, view summary. Here you can see iteration 1 and 2. Now let's do a couple of more things. So in the employee data, delete employee data, what we'll do, let's say we are expecting 204. Just for an example, like we want deliberately we want to fail the test case. Okay, and let's do one more thing, like whether let's see whether this has been created or not. So if you go to environment variable, here you can see environment ID has been created. The current value is 26. Now after setting this environment variable, there is no use of this environment variable. So what we'll do, instead of, we haven't selected this delete over here, so select this delete, save it, and yeah, let's first see whether the delete is working fine or not. Now you can see post, get, put, and delete, right? So let me run this again, run collection, and select the file, 2 iteration, run this iteration. Now you can see it is running successfully, post, get, put, and delete. Now we'll see, we'll do a couple of things on this delete request, and you can see environment variable has been set over here. What we'll do, we want to delete that environment variable after once our collection has been executed. After that we want to delete that. So what is the command we have, like JavaScript code pm.environment.unset method we have, right? So inside that we need to simply pass that environment variable env_id. So this will unset the environment variable. And let's do one thing, deliberately we want to fail the test case. So let's say we are expecting 204 and put it over here, 204. Okay, so let me just run it, run collection, and simply select the file, employee data. Let's run this time 4 times. Okay, 4 iterations. So 4 ja 16 test cases will be there, will be executed. So run data variable concept, and 4 of them will be failed. Now here you can see for the delete record, because we are expecting 204, but actually we are receiving 200, right? So that's why we got failure on the 4th request. Other 3 are passed, 4 out of 4 are passed. This is iteration 1, 2, 3, 4. If you see the result in this way, you can see the result as well. So you can see for each iteration, the fourth request is test case for the fourth request is failed. Now this is how we can achieve the data variable concept or parameterization in Postman using external file. So till now we have seen using this CSV file, right? Now we want to achieve this using JSON file. So how to do that? So in internet there are so many converter are available like CSV to JSON format. So simply you can search in the Google like CSV to JSON converter and open one of the links over here. We'll use the same file and then later on CSV to JSON. What we need to do here, choose file, employee data. Now we have to convert that to JSON, right? So come back here. This is how we are going to see that our JSON file. Download result. Now it has been downloaded. Just this is the second. Let me open that. Download. This is how we have downloaded here. So simply select that and put inside the data files. So this is the JSON file has been created. Now we want to execute our script using this JSON file. How to do that? Come to Postman, simply click on those three dots, run collection, and this time using JSON file. So select that JSON file, open it. You can see 4 iterations, and this is the order. Simply run data variable concept collection. Now you can see all 4 got executed, 16 records, on which 4 got failed. We deliberately failed those 4 test cases. So this is how you can achieve the data variable concept or how you can achieve the parameterization in Postman. Let me know guys if you have any doubts related to this one, this concept, and if you are new to this channel then subscribe this channel as well. So thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.